It is Saturday, August 2nd, and I got this beautiful new deck, and so I want to do something different, something fun. I've seen plenty of other people do variations of this. So basically you're just going to pick a shape, the one that you're first, attracted to. Also, underneath these cards are a hidden message card that I pulled from my message cards. I shuffled these, I cleansed them. I really took my time and waited until Spirit, flipped out the right ones. And I will be right back with a quick interpretation of what the message is for each. So whatever your situation is. All right, see you in a sec. If you chose the first shape, the message card was TikTok. The first card was the King of Pentacles. The second card was the Tower. And the third is the Seven of Wands. This is about a person who has built a business. This is about a business. This is about a design or a concept. And something shocking happens because you were being watched in some capacity by someone, and you weren't aware of it. You may have had an intuitive nudge that someone was watching you or evaluating you or sizing you up in some way. But there was a tower moment. And it was like an overnight thing. In the morning, like you woke up that morning, everything was normal. And by the time you woke up the next morning, you felt like you didn't know what was up and what was down. TikTok. For me, that's a reference. It's a nod to a character in that Madge, or I think that was her name, in Hunger Games, and she's kind of like a selective mute. So she's been through trauma, and she just doesn't speak. She only speaks to one other person, and it's the person that she trusts. I think this represents Spirit in this reading, but so it's not really about the platform, although I think that's probably what most people will think, but that's not what I meant by it. So this is about you blocking out the noise and knowing that you are the S word, like you really, you can't be messed with. Not now. No, you can't be messed with. You've put some roots down. You know who you are. You know what you have to offer. And there may be other people that you will work with, work alongside. There'll be people competing with you. But you're not giving up what's rightfully yours. And you don't care who's watching. And that's your message. All right, if you picked this shape, the message card is another movie reference for me that means more. This is Professor Snape. He's a Harry Potter person. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that character, but he is like he's a professor at the academy, and he covers the dark arts. Okay, so the thing about him is he's like one of those characters where he appears to be like really a bad guy, but turns out he's not a bad guy. All right, so that's relevant to this situation. I know that we have the Lovers card here. This could be about that type of a situation. But I do think that it's about someone revealing. I did a reading about this earlier, and I'm getting the same message for that. This is someone's message. Someone revealing something about themselves that could potentially affect their livelihood. But they're doing it anyway. And it's going to be a really positive thing for them and for other people. They're going to inspire people. The sun will illuminate what was hidden and what appeared to be dark, taboo, not mainstream. And the whole world, or a lot of the world, or your world, your pond, your people, are going to view you, if this is you, in a different way. Not like we originally viewed Professor Snape, but as somebody who is actually a hero in a way, because they are courageous and still who they were before, right? They could still do all those spells and they're still respected, but there's this other part of them. So that's your message. All right, if you picked this shape, the message card is blocked, unblocked. Loop-de-loop-de-loo. It's like a bit karmic. First card is the Chariot. Second card is Seven of Pentacles. And the third card is Five of Pentacles. All right, I just flipped these over, so I'm taking it in. So this is something that has happened already, or it might be happening now. So in this situation, this is definitely a situation about a relationship. I don't know if this is the viewer or the person the viewer is involved with, but the dynamic here is that one person comes in and reignites a situation. This has happened several times before. This is a cycle. There's one person who's more committed than the other. They both love each other. But they both have, you know, their stuff too, right? They both have issues with boundaries, different types of issues, but both boundary issues. One person is allowing the other one because they love them. That's what they think, you know, or you do love them, but you're allowing them to cross your boundaries, you know, repeatedly. And the other person is crossing your boundaries. And neither of you really understand that that is a choice, you know. So there's one person who's been more committed and the other person kind of comes and goes. And just like the cycle, you know, that's been going on, you know, blocked, unblocked, blocked, unblocked. Person comes in, you know, after they've strayed or just decided to take a break while the other one is waiting and missing and longing for them. I think they're both longing for each other, by the way, but it's just that one has, they each have sort of, you know, some wounds from childhood. One feels like a daddy wound and one feels like a mommy wound, all right? So the one person comes back in again to, you know, their Seven of Pentacles, which is in this case a relationship that's been built, you know, there's some time here, a few years at least. But what's happening this time is that the other person who's been committed and you know, kind of is always around, is always there when the other one comes back, they're not this time. And that's where it ends for now. I mean, I hope, and this is not an easy thing to do, but I just hope that whoever is in this situation, that they end this cycle, because love isn't always enough. And if you don't end a cycle that brings you heartache, you'll never be able to get something, you know, that you deserve, that's right for you, that's a better fit. So it has to end. And it's not going to end with the one who always can come back to you no matter what happens. They always have a safe place, you know, to come back to. That's not the person who's going to end it. So, yeah, that's your message. We've all been there. Okay, thanks for listening. Have a great night. Bye. Take care of yourselves.